Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today I would like to share my thoughts on Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest episode 15, which I thought was another solid episode. Aldoron, the wood dragon god, finally awoke from his slumber, and there's all sorts of new trials and foes for our heroes to face up against, so lots of good stuff here. They also adapted one of the bonus chapters, which they have been adapting over the past few weeks. This one coming from the 6th volume of the manga, featuring Wendy being afraid of bugs, which after watching this and, watching episode 14 last week, this would have been better at the start of episode 14 in my opinion, just because Wendy's afraid of bugs, as established in the original series, of course, reaffirmed here. And then she fought Nebaru, the clinging dragon, who is basically like a spider dragon, right? So it would have made more sense for it to appear last week, but I think because they had a new opening and ending, and they had a bit of the recap, a minute or 2 minutes at the start of episode 14 before, they probably couldn't include this. So, we have that. Of course, I have my screenshots and comparison to the manga. Some nitpicks with how they presented Celine in the anime, which there's a bit of censorship, kind of how it was last week with Irene, which is just baffling to me because, Fairy Tail is all about the fan service. It's all about it. And they kind of covered Irene up a little, just cropping her and making her more translucent, which, she's a ghost or a spirit or whatever. And with Celine, I'll show you later on this video, but she's in the hot springs and the clouds are covering her. And it's like, come on, man, I want to see Celine's giant titties. Is that so hard for me to ask? I mean, whatever. Alright, so let's get to this episode. It starts with the adaptation of the bonus chapter, which Wendy is pleading to Carla, saying, Carla, there's a bug, help me! And Carla's like, calm down, girl. It's just a bug. And you see, it's like a little ladybug thing. It's not even like a scary spider. So Carla, I'll get the bug, don't worry, Wendy. Thank you, Carla. And, of course, Carla can't get the bug, so Urza shows up. And I love how they're in their cute little pajamas, and Urza's rolling up the newspaper like, this bug is nothing, no match for Urza. So she's gonna attack the bug. She's not doing too good. She keeps missing the bug, and you see the anger in her face there. She's getting pissed, and she's seething right there. And Wendy and Carla are just okay, Urza. So Urza decides to re-equip into an entirely new armor. I've never seen this one before, but she does it, and she starts going to town, destroying the the dormitory where the girls are living. There's a giant hole there, and destroys even more of the dormitory, and this thing comes fluttering down with the bug, saying that the episode's about to start. So the episode eventually starts, and if you remember last week, Mest had reappeared and destroyed the final 2 Lacrima, thus awakening Aldoron. And so as that happens, the ground is shaking around all our heroes. I think it cuts over to Lucy's group with Lucy, Gray, Juvia, and Kana. And then the townspeople are like, we've waited for this moment for years. We're going to become one with Aldoron. And you see like a sapling starts growing out of this woman's arm there. And they start turning into trees. Look at that guy's face over there. Holy shit. But they turn into trees. Aldoron wakes up, you see him moving, he's got red eyes now, he's got like these blue flames. Here is a comparison to the manga. I don't know, man, I think the manga is better. Again, you already know my opinion, I've repeated it a million times. The anime, I still prefer the anime because of the voice acting and the music, but when it comes to little details like this of the roots and everything, it just looks better. I mean, you tell me though if I'm wrong. But, so, as that happens, the White Mage no longer has control of the other members of Fairy Tail, and so Jalal has been tied up for episodes now after his confrontation with Urza. I must dye you white, Urza. And Urza said, calm down, let me tie you up. And he's like, I'm waiting, Urza. So he was all tied up, he finally comes to, and as this is all happening, Aldoron has been awakened. It cuts over to Celine, who's in an entirely different realm, by the way. We'll get to more of her after the Aldoron arc, of course, but it cuts over to Celine. A beautiful aesthetic right there. And it cuts to her in the hot spring, which, come on, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, he got the steam covering everything. And, Fairy Tail is an unapologetically excessive fan service manga anime series. Even the original anime series, they would censor some things here and there, but overall, the titties are always on full display. So when they cover up, and I see people online saying, oh, it's in better taste. No, get the fuck out of here. You got to go back to wherever you came from. You know, Fairy Tail is for us men to enjoy. So, and she gets up, and here in the manga, there's a nice ass shot. We can't see the glorious ass shot of Celine, but for reference, here it is. So it starts with her silhouette. I'll zoom in so you can see even more. But there's her silhouette, just thinking. You get some nice side boob, and you got her fucking, look how fat that ass is. Spank that thing. But there she is. And she puts on her robe, which I guess you get some cleavage there. Sipping her sake. And I showed you this shot. This was at the end of the recap episode from 13.5, but it just shows you again. So there's Celine. Good stuff. I already showed this one with the recap episode. I think she looks great there in the anime adapted from the manga. That's perfect, especially with the colors and everything, how it's the moonlit night and everything. I really enjoyed that, but the bathing scene, they could have done better. So now it cuts over to Wendy. You remember Wendy and Carla regrouped with Natsu and Happy. And, you know, because of Irene, Wendy has the power to remove Toka, the Exie, from Faris, the White Mage, which she does, and makes them two separate beings once again. So there they are. And as all this is going on, we have the Magic Council of Giltina show up with similar airships to what Ichiya had, the Christina, and they're going to hopefully counteract Aldoron's attack. So there's the Giltina Magic Council. I kind of like the design of this dude, though. Just his cape and everything, his mustache. And the commander, Robert. However, Aldoron is not taking any of this shit. And he destroys him while he one-shots him. So the poor Magic Council, they're not good for anything. After Aldoron does that, it shows Ignia, who says a few words like, oh, you know, the Magic Council, they have no shot of destroying Aldoron. It's up to Natsu and his friends. And then same with Celine. They're just pondering what's going to happen next. More on them after this arc. But it's just to show people, like, okay, don't forget about him. I know he showed up in episode 6 and that's it. But he'll be important much later in Season 2, Season 3, so on and so forth. Same with Celine. So Natsu is ready to, you know, face off against Aldoron. So he gets a giant attack. Punches him right in the back, and you see there's some damage. It's burned up on the ground, and then I think this is the next one. Yeah, oh, look how awesome that is. Look at Natsu's face there as he does his attack. So badass. But after he does the attack, a little sprout pops up, and it starts talking to him and says, oh, you're gonna have to do that about 1,000,000 more times. Think about it. Aldoron has 1,000,000 HP, and I love how they said that because that was in the manga as well. And if you know anything about Hiro Mashima, he's a big video game fan, especially JRPGs. And looking back, a lot of his manga series feel like JRPGs, but in particular, Rave Master has the most JRPG feel to it. The way new companions join Haru's party and stuff like that. And oh, I just love that Mashima is a JRPG fan. But you know, we meet this new character, Wolfen, the God Seed. That's the sprout. He shows up, and then here it is in the manga. Again, I like the music and the voice acting, but I think the details are more pronounced in the manga with the roots and everything. Oh, why did it zoom out like that? I was trying to keep it a little zoomed in, but there you go. The Godseed Wolfen. So back over to Kana's group, there's like hundreds of these things sprouting up, and they're trying to get a read. They're grabbing everyone's face to get a read as to who they deem them the strongest. And so Kana, of course, deems Gildarts the strongest, and everyone around her is like, Kana, why are you thinking Gildarts? It read my mind. So Gildart just, I love how there's all the Wolfen God Seeds there. And Gildarts, he gained Gildart's powers, but he still has like the little sapling growing out of his head. So Gildarts is making quick work of them. It cuts over to more of the other characters. When Loxus got up again, he saw Urza, and he's like, who did this to you, Urza? Like, oh, if only you knew, Loxus, if only you knew. It shows the Jobber Squad, which it shows these guys. I mentioned this last week in the opening. They're all in the opening. They have a big segment there. These guys have an important part for the remainder of this arc, and they're probably going to get at least half an episode or even a whole episode. So I'm glad these guys get spotlight on them. It's great to see some love for our favorite jobbers in Fairy Tail. You love to see it. But everyone else is regrouping now. We got Panther Lily, Levi, and Gagio. And when they were talking about this, like, all right, let's get everyone out of the cards to help in the fight. Gray said, leave Makarov in there. He's the old man. He can't fight. But then they send Levy out there who's pregnant? Wait a minute. Why is Levy supposed to be fighting? She's pregnant. Oh, this is a funny gag where Mira lifts up her cloak there. I have no undies on. Come on, lift it up more, will you? We get a Lucy kick here, which... Look how long her leg is. I just thought this was a funny screenshot. Because look at that leg. Like, how tall is Lucy? Does she have Brandish's powers now? So there's Lucy. Lucy and Gray back-to-back fighting against these guys. Here it is. I didn't really feel the need to get a million manga panels for this review because I mainly wanted to talk about the Celine thing, but you get the idea. It's just as close to an adaptation as you can get. I guess the leg thing, she had that going on in the manga too, didn't she? I just thought that was funny. And then this shot of Natsu. There was a lot of great still images of Natsu fighting against everybody, but what happened was Wolfen actually turned into Happy at first, and he was confused, like, why am I this furry creature, this cat? Like, he's not strong, and Natsu said something along the lines of, oh, Happy's fought in every battle with me, so, yeah, he's just as strong as me. And then, so Wolfen turns back into, you know, his regular form, and Natsu just burns them all up. And after that, he's smiling, he's like, I have the perfect idea. So he lets Wolfen grab Natsu's face. And I love this shot right here. Look at Natsu smile. He knows. He planned this all out. And this is in the manga as well. I actually think in this case, it looks better in the anime. Because he's got like the more rigid teeth there. I like it. What do you think? But Wolfen turns into Zeref. Which Natsu says, great to see you again, bro. Which obviously it's not Zeref. It's just Wolfen having the personality and powers of Zeref. But that's because... you know, Zeref has the immortality curse and everything he loves around him dies. So Natsu's big brain plan is to use Zeref against Aldoron, which is actually pretty smart. So more on that next week. Lots of great stuff. I enjoyed this episode as always, although I did have my nitpicks regarding Celine, which, just to go back a bit, I gotta see where I am. Yeah, I mean, they robbed us of her fat ass. I'll never forgive them for that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. A short episode this week, but, you know, not really too much to add. We're going to get some more characters. If you saw the opening, you know that there's more characters still to make their debut. The arc after this, which features more of Celine. Can't wait for that. And I also can't wait to hear Celine's English voice actor. So at this time, I've watched up to episode 12 with the English dub. I haven't watched episode 13, which is Urza vs. Loxus, and for some reason, they did not dub episode 13.5, but really, it's just Lucy narrating it, and then the minute preview of who Celine's voice actor is going to be. So next week, we'll see episode 14 dub, which hopefully Rachel Robinson reprises her role as Irene, and then I'm really looking forward to seeing who, well, I guess not really seeing, but hearing who Celine's English voice actor is. But we shall see. So thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later. Peace out.
99.